You want to get out. You want connection. So when the opportunity arises, you plan to go to an event. And then almost immediately, you regret it. But you don't cancel. You just continue to dread it. Today, I want to talk you through a pattern that many neurodivergent adults relive over and over again, dreading the social interaction. We're going to talk about how it plagues you before, during, and after. And by the end of this, I'll share a tool that can help you create different experiences without forcing yourself to be someone else. Are you ready? Let's go. What's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast, the podcast for late identified autistic adults who want real relationships without fake masks. Let's talk connection, clarity, and showing up as your authentic self. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You spend a lot of time alone, doing things in solitude, really enjoying your time. Then you start to crave connection. Maybe you start a new TV series that you fall in love with, or you pick up a new game that you wish you had someone to talk about. And you might scroll on social media and see an event that you'd like to attend, and you decide on a whim, yeah, I'm going to go. But you're sure that it'll be boring and awkward, and you begin dreaming up scenarios where you'll be overwhelmed with no direction and searching for the exit. It's too late. You committed. You spent $20 on the ticket. You want this connection. You want to find somebody cool to hang out with. But you can't help focusing on what will go wrong. If you're an ADHD person, if you are autistic, your brain runs on pattern recognition at high speeds. And now you're not just focused, you are hyper-focused. Your brain remembers every time you missed a cue, every time you over-explained, every time you came off as too intense, too quiet, too different. You want it to stop, but you're in too deep and you can't shut it off. It seems like a terrible thing because the experience is absolutely dreadful. It's exhausting. But listen, your brain is only trying to protect you. And I know at this point, you want to scream, shut up, brain, or I'll stab you with a Q-tip. Got it. I'm right there with you. It's exhausting. Your pattern recognition is already kicked in before you even decided to go because it remembers. It already knows how this is going to go, and it wants you to look for mistakes, mishaps, and it wants you to change your behavior. It's only scanning for the things that went wrong so that you can fix it. Make sense? But here's the thing. You don't have an objective point of view when you're not healed. You're not emotionally attached. Instead of being able to reflect on the experience, you're in it. You're reliving it. And that's why it's even more frustrating that this rumination mechanism is supposed to protect you, but it only creates more fear and more doubt. It feels like it's broken. Remember how you got rejected last time? It says they don't like you and no one ever will. Remember how you embarrassed yourself? You said something so stupid that people will later laugh with all their friends about you. It says, remember, this is who you are and you're going to do it again. Where's the Q-tip? You're not getting messages that help you receive or reach an outcome that you want, which is genuine, authentic connection. Instead, you're getting a message that instills more dread. It says, why would you ever do this again? You're an idiot for thinking things will be different. And then, if you're particularly prone to self-deprecation, your brain will show you even more ways that you're an idiot. You spiral. Rumination is nasty. But reflection, that's not. Rumination is just reflection without the healing. When you're reflecting on experiences, you're not as emotionally involved in the situation. You can step back and see, oh, yeah, I did that. And this is how everyone responded around me. And it's okay. I don't feel that deep sadness or deep embarrassment in this moment. But rumination, on the other hand, rumination puts you right in that spot, exactly where you were then, and you could feel all the heat from the embarrassment and hear the laughter in real time. That's what rumination does. It's helpful to reflect, not so much to ruminate. Let's talk about the thinking traps that happen behind rumination. Because ridding yourself of rumination is a twofold challenge, right? The reason you haven't found a solution, because rumination, remember, it's supposed to search these bad experiences for solutions. It keeps bringing it to you. Here's the bad experience. Here's the bad experience. And now it's up to you to figure out what the solution is. But the challenge with being able to find and identify the solution is twofold. The first challenge, well, you're aware of your discomfort, but you don't have a solution that will get you the results that you want. So you just don't have a solution in mind. Let's say you're an adult and you'd like to make friends, so you plan to go to an event. The last time you went to a social event, you saw everyone talking in groups and felt left out. You felt rejected and wondered why. This is where you get stuck ruminating. Was it something you said or did? Or you just don't know. And you'll ruminate on trying to discover exactly what you did or did not do. But you don't have any kind of idea. So again, it'll play over and over and over again. It's kind of like that experiment where if you are looking for a blue car, you will see blue cars. Like if you look out to a busy highway, you're told to count how many blue cars you see. You will scan for them. You will see them. But for rumination, you're just like, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm looking at this highway and cars are going by, but I don't know what I'm looking for. And you hyper focus and fixate on the fact that you don't know what you're looking for. So you freak out about the fact that you don't know what you're supposed to be doing here. And then it's all wrong. It feels all wrong. So that's the first fold of the challenge. The second challenge is that, well, you might get more insight into the real problem and even some steps that will help you get the results that you want, but you haven't had any practice putting it into action. So let's go back to the social event. This is a social event where everyone's talking in groups, right? Now in this case, you have more information. You know that most people who are familiar with each other tend to talk to each other. So you realize they're talking in groups because they know each other. It has nothing to do with you. That's more information than you had before. You realize it's comfortable for them to talk to each other, so you don't take it personally. Now you also know you have steps for a solution. Your solution is to start a conversation. But you haven't practiced what to say, you don't know how to say it, and you aren't sure how you'll be received. So you start ruminating here. What should I say? Will they think it's lame? Won't it be rude if I just jumped into a group conversation? You get stuck. Rumination is twofold. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know why you're doing it. You're afraid to take action. Because at the end of the day, your brain is trying to give you a result. What is the result that you're looking for? And if you don't know it, if you don't know what to expect, if you don't know what to do, your brain's going to say, it's all wrong, it's all wrong, it's always going to be wrong. They're not going to like you. Remember the last time you said something to somebody, don't do it, and you get scared and you just don't do it. So let's recap. The first challenge is that you're aware of a problem, but you don't know what the solution looks like. The second challenge is that you know what the solution looks like. You have steps to take that solution, but you haven't practiced it in real time, so you can't make the steps. You imagine the things that will go wrong. So here's the reframe. The dread isn't coming from the event itself, because this rumination can happen all of the time, anywhere, for anything. It's coming from the belief that the pattern of you being rejected will repeat no matter what you do. There's a deep belief that says whatever you do, it's going to fail. So it stops you from trying. And it makes sense that you'd believe that because you've run this simulation in your head thousands of times and you've not seen a solution. But I want to tell you that you're only thinking about it. It's only happening in your brain and not in real life. It's only happening in your brain, not in real life. And we have to do something about that. Instead of just thinking about it, you have to get out of your head and into an intentional conversation. And the best way to do that is to set a goal. That way, you know what you are looking for. You know what good looks like. You know what color car you're supposed to be looking for when you see them on the highway. So the best way to do this is to set a goal. I'll talk to 3 people and I'll tell them about my hobbies. That's your goal. And right there, you might start to ruminate. All the bad experiences that you've had will return to remind you that there's no way out. What if I can't find the courage? What if they never heard of my hobby or think it's weird? To defeat this rumination, you're going to have to take action to find answers instead of making them up in your head. What if you experimented to find out? What if you actually said the thing to see how they respond? So we want to do this intentional shift, and I want to shift you even more to start focusing on the goal rather than the what if situation that won't work out. Instead of feeding into the rumination by focusing on what could go wrong, try shifting into curiosity. And this, my friend, is where neurodivergent, autistic, pattern-seeking brains shine. Turn this event into an experiment. Before you go, set a simple, observable goal. This is what you can do. Talk to 3 people, notice how they respond, and then collect the data on how they respond. Nothing else. Let that take up all the space in your brain so that you have no room for rumination. And a bonus, if they behave exactly how you predicted, let's say they laughed or they didn't like it, then celebrate that your pattern recognition was spot on, accurate. Good job. Go you. If they behave differently, they lean in, they're curious, they want to learn something about what you shared, be surprised. Love that surprise for yourself. Hooray, you've met somebody who's really cool, neat, and interesting because they know something about something you like, right? Either way, your brain gets something it loves. New data. There is no room for rumination here. It's all expansion. And we do a bit of reflection after this. It leaves room for us to do reflection after the event. So after the event, don't ask, did they like me? That's a question you might ruminate on. Instead, ask questions that create learning. How many people did I talk to? Did you meet your goal? How many conversations felt okay or good? Did you enjoy any of them? Did you like any of them? It's on you because it's coming from your brain, not from wondering what other people had thought. You just won't have good information if you try to think about what other people have thought of you, right? So this will shift your focus from self-judgment to self-awareness, and it will release the rumination. You'll cut down on thinking about things that you cannot control, you do not have power over, and you cannot fix. And hey, if you'd like to practice this in real time in a safe, supportive environment, then you need to come to the Structured Social Hour on the last Sunday of the month. Go to patternsofpossibility.com/events to register. It's free and it's fun. All right, now I'm going to leave you with this. If you live in a cycle of wanting connection but dreading every moment of getting it, there is nothing wrong with you. Absolutely nothing wrong with you. Your brain learned a pattern that once made sense. Remember, rumination is meant to show you these bad things so that you can pick out what to do next. But now that doesn't serve you. It keeps you disconnected, it keeps you isolated and afraid because you think you know what's going to happen. You never get to experiment, to take new chances and try new experiences. If you really want to connect with people, you have to learn how to turn that rumination off. Get out of your head and into a genuine conversation. You got this. All right, let's wrap this up. If you've heard something today that has helped you see yourself in relationships a little differently, then I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can leave a comment here, or you can reach me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you could take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe, it really helps more people find these conversations and join our growing community. And speaking of community, if you're looking for a space where you can express yourself and be met with curiosity rather than rejection as a late diagnosed autistic adult, then come visit thepatternsofpossibility.com and find your community there. Learn more about what we're doing. We're connecting with others. You can be yourself and authenticity in this space. Find other people who've had your experiences, who know what you're going through, so you don't have to do this alone. Until next time, take care of your energy, and remember that connection starts when you allow yourself to be seen.